Thanks for joining us this week for UND Sports Extra. I'm Alex Heinert. We've got a full show on the way, including highlights from the WCHA Final Faceoff and an interview with the recently named FCS Under Armour Athletic Director of the Year, Brian Faison. But first, we're going to the hardwood, where both the UND men and women were each just one win away from claiming a Big Sky regular season championship. Let's start in Sacramento on Wednesday with Travis Brewster and the UND women. The Hawks had beaten the Hornets by 23 back in December, and even though the rematch would be tighter, this was still North Dakota's game from the first quarter on. UND would lead 52-35 at the half and was able to withstand a Hornet run in the third, thanks in part to a gaudy 26 of 29 effort from the free throw line. UND would earn the 92-78 road victory and a share of their second Big Sky title in 4 years. Michaela Dyer would pace UND with 21 points, while Lexi Klebo would add 20 and 9 in the winning effort. Sam Roscoe and Leah Zabla also would hit double figures, with Zabla's 19 points putting her over 1,000 for her career. She becomes the 35th player in UND history to reach that plateau. A second road win in 3 days would secure the Big Sky Tournament's top seed, but upstart Portland State would have other ideas. UND would lead by 5 after the first, but they would shoot just 29% from the field the rest of the way, compared to 52% from the opposition. The Vikings would outscore UND 40-18 in the paint. They'd win the rebounding battle as well on their way to a convincing 81-67 victory. The loss was just the third of the conference season for the Fighting Hawks, who finished 15-3 in Big Sky play and 20-9 overall. A pair of wins during the week by fellow 15-3 rival Montana State means UND will be the 2 seed in Reno as the Bobcats hold the head-to-head tiebreaker. The UND men had a similar situation entering the weekend, only they would get 2 home games to earn the single victory needed to secure their first conference title in over 2 decades. Sacramento State would be tough to handle, however, as the Hornets managed to slow the game down on Thursday night and limit UND's opportunities in transition. After trailing 24-23 at the half, North Dakota would pull in front by 5 midway through the second after back-to-back threes from Corey Baldwin, but Sac would hit 4 triples of their own in a 7-minute span to pull in front for good, handing UND their first home league loss of the year, 57-53. North Dakota would go 4 of 21 from behind the arc and only 3 of 10 from the line, and that combined with a 40-30 rebounding advantage for Sac State would prove too much to overcome. It would be a much different story, though, 2 days later, as Senior Day at the Betty proved to be a special occasion in more ways than one. Portland State had handed UND their worst loss of the season back in December, but the Fighting Hawks would only trail for 58 seconds total in the rematch. UND led by 2 at the half, but while PSU would hang tough until the end, Quentin Hooker had no intention of letting his last home game end in defeat. The senior would go for 29 points on 10 of 18 shooting and had 6 steals to carry the Hawks to an 82-73 victory and a Big Sky regular season championship. Gino Crandall would add 21 points, 8 assists, and 7 boards as UND would shoot 52% from the field and 91% from the line with 21 makes on 23 attempts. The win gives UND their first conference title in men's basketball in 22 years. Not a bad way to cap off an outstanding regular season.
We put so much work into this, and coming from where this program was a few years ago to where we're at now is just so much hard work has paid off, and it's nothing but joy for myself and for all these guys. This is big for the fans. I mean, you just look at the energy in here right now. It's crazy.
The fans are always great. We always give credit to our fans for coming out, the football team, and just to have my #1 supporter here tonight, it just made it even better.
It was just amazing to do this in front of our friends and family and to do it here at the Betty. Like, to be able to cut these nets down and just cherish this moment with family has been awesome.
Congrats again to Brian Jones and Travis Brewster on earning Big Sky regular season titles. 300 miles from Grand Forks in Minneapolis, North Dakota women's hockey was looking to earn a conference championship of their own. Brian Idalski's team were fresh off a quarterfinal victory over Ohio State and were looking to make their second WCHA Final Faceoff title game in the last 4 years, but in their way, the #1 team in the country, the Wisconsin Badgers. After a scoreless first period at Ritter Arena that saw UND fend off a 5-minute major, Wisconsin's power play would eventually break through in the second. Sidney McKibben would take advantage of a 5-on-3 opportunity to put the Badgers up 1-0, but UND would fight back. Under 5 minutes left in the second, Charlie Dahlquist finds Amy Mankey, and the senior does the rest, beating All-American goaltender Anne Renee Dabian. Third goal of the postseason for Mankey, 11th of the year, and we're all tied at 1 apiece. Lexi Shaw would withstand the barrage from the Badgers all game on her way to a career-high 47 saves, but in the end, Wisconsin would find a way to get a second goal past the senior netminder. Emily Clark would score on a one-time blast with under 3 minutes to go, and that would prove to be the game winner. UND's season comes to an end as the Badgers earn the 2-1 victory. Wisconsin would go on to win the WCHA title over Duluth the following day. Congrats again to the UND women on another great season. We'll talk with Brian Idalski a little later in the program, but up next, Brian Jones will stop by to recap a title-winning week and preview the Big Sky Conference tournaments. That's next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
For the first time since 1995, North Dakota men's basketball is a conference champion, and the man that has led them to that point joins us here today, Brian Jones. First of all, congratulations. A phenomenal regular season, a Big Sky title. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm still in awe. I really am. It was a week, obviously, with a lot of stress, but I couldn't be more proud of our guys and proud of my staff. That's what's a lot of long work, long hours, but our guys came every day to work, our staff came every day to work, and it's been a journey, and it's so rewarding right now that we're playing really good basketball, but it couldn't have happened on a Bader day, obviously with senior day and sending those guys out the right way, but it's just something that it's hard to do. They just don't hand out championships, so that's why we got to really embrace it.
Yeah, I think people, when you see that 22-year gap, it just shows this is a difficult thing to accomplish. It's a very tough league, a very balanced league, and to go 14-4 and do what you guys did this season, it's really an impressive mark to be able to savor.
It is, and I see 22 years. I didn't really know that stat, but that is impressive. It's obviously a long drought, but it is. It shows you how hard it is, and that's what we kept trying to tell our guys. That they're not going to give you these championships. You have to go out and earn them, and that's every day. You got to embrace the journey. It's not about one weekend trip or a couple weekends. It's the body of work. That's a unique thing to do, and with the league being as tough as we're going to see as we're about to go to the conference tournament, how tough this thing is going to be to win that. And then what's going on across college basketball, all these upsets in the conference tournament. That's why March is such a great time of the year.
You were able to earn that conference title this past week at home. You knew you needed one win out of 2 games to clinch at least a share of the title. Thursday against Sac State, that was a team that has been streaking lately. They played you tough from start to finish, and they were able to play their game, it felt like, keep this a defensive, tight struggle throughout.
They did. They set the tone. They wanted it a low-scoring game. Honestly, I thought our guys, they were really uptight a little bit. They knew what was at stake. They just weren't as loose as they've been in the past. But give them a lot of credit. They came in and did a great job of getting the game in the 50s. We just could never turn that corner, whether it was pace or even the score. But once we got beat, I tell you what, it was almost like a breath of fresh air. The guys were able to exhale a little bit and just play a lot more loose come Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it was a 57-53 loss against the Hornets on Thursday, but like you said, another chance to rebound a couple days later. Senior day, again, a lot of emotion and a lot of, I think, anticipation about this night. Best crowd of the season, certainly for senior day. Close game throughout. In the end, though, the 2 guys that have really been the catalysts, at least offensively, for your team, able to get the victory for you again in this one. Quentin Hooker with an incredible game, 29 points, filled up the stat sheet all over the place. Gino Crandall with 21 to go along with 8 assists and 7 boards.
Quentin made every big play, like loose ball, he'd come up with it and get something in transition, get a break going. Obviously, Gino, a stat stuffer, as you saw, but they are the 1-2 punch in our thing because of the balls in their hands so much. They're able to facilitate and score and start the tempo. But yeah, I couldn't be more. The seniors, we wanted to send them out the right way. None of this could have been possible without even the guy, Thomas Blake and Devin Pekas, who didn't play a whole lot. But man, being able to send Q out that way, 29 points, and in front of that crowd, the crowd was, the last 2 years our crowds have been unbelievable. That's why we've had such a good home record. Our fan base has showed up and really supported these guys, and I think our guys have really tried to rally around the student body and fans as well.
Yeah, certainly they'll lift you to that height.
No
Another
question.
big conference championship, the 4th now for this athletics department this year, which is ridiculous. And we'll talk about that with Brian Faison coming up in a bit. But you were able to cut the nets down, and now you can focus on Reno. You get the top seed, you get a couple days off. It really becomes kind of a normal week for you. A game on Thursday, and you have to wait and see who you play.
It is. It's about managing those the days and keeping them fresh. Now we have to be as fresh. We got to win 3 games in 3 days. The toughest game is the first one, and if you can get past that first one, things will fall in place with you. So we just got to focus on the first game, survive in advance, as they say, and focus on the things we can control.
Yeah, Portland State, NAU to kick things off Thursday. You get the first game of Thursday, and then, as you said, a win. Semifinals Friday, championship game Saturday. Coach, we hope a few more scissors and cutting down some nets are in your future. Congratulations again.
You.
Best of luck in
Thank
Reno.
you.
When we come back, switching gears to women's hockey, Brian Idalski joins us in studio after the break. North Dakota women's hockey played in their 7th straight WCHA Final Faceoff semifinal this past week. A great matchup against Wisconsin. Here to talk about the game and about the season, head coach Brian Idalski. And coach, again, another great run for your girls this year. A great effort against the #1 team in the country. The tough 2-1 defeat, obviously hard to take, but you got to feel great about the way the team played this season.
Well, we talked prior to the game. We just wanted to compete, leave everything out on the ice, and give it our best effort. And I thought we did that. I was so proud of our kids and just the way we battled, competed, overcame some adversity in that game, and we gave Wisconsin all they could handle. In the end, they made an extra play.
Yeah, you talk about the adversity in this contest against the Badgers. A lot of penalties going against you early, including a big 5-minute major in that first period. Penalty kill, though, was big. You were able to stave off really chance after chance against the Badger team early on.
Yeah, for sure. I thought losing LeCavier early, kind of juggles lines and, took away a couple of our options up front. But Marissa Salo jumped up and did a nice job there. Penalty kill was terrific. The goal they do get is a 5-on-3 off a shin pad bounce. Wasn't a clean goal at all. So, like I said, I thought our kids did a great job of just battling and playing hard.
Yeah, that goal from Wisconsin put them up 1-0. You get a goal back, though, later in that second period. An incredible individual effort from Amy Mankey. This is a kid that really tried to pull her team to a victory on
Yeah, as a senior, she really kind of put the offense on her back and made a great play. That's something she's worked on, behind the scenes for the last, 2 years as far as cutting in and making a play, and to beat a goaltender like that and beat a defenseman and go piping in. That was a pretty big goal and gave us a lot of momentum.
Yeah, 5 points now this postseason for Amy, her 3rd goal in the playoffs. That was one senior obviously trying to carry your team. Lexi Shaw at the other end did a phenomenal job all season, but 47 saves in what ends up being her final game. And what can you say about your senior goaltender?
Oh, she was lights out. If we were going to win that game, we needed her to play well, and she did. She gave us every opportunity, and those are games Lexi really thrives in. She likes a lot of work. She was constantly having shots and puck in the zone, and so she rose to the challenge. I thought she was tremendous.
Yeah. After the goal from Amy made it 1-1, you nearly scored shortly thereafter. Really were putting the pressure on Wisconsin. It looked like this maybe was going to go to overtime, and they find a way to get a goal in the end off a one-timer with about 3 minutes to go. And obviously a tough way to lose, but when you get done with a game like that and you see 9 seniors go out and give it all they had, what was the conversation like in the locker room after this?
It was really just, proud of the effort and did everything we asked them to do and gave ourselves a chance to win a hockey game, and, really talked about their legacy as a group and how that's going to be felt over the course of the next couple of years. When you have a big group of seniors and then you have 17 sophomore and freshmen, behind the scenes, how they went about their work, the small conversations they have with those players, that impact will be felt for the next 2-3 years with this group. And like I told them, anything this group accomplishes now for our sophomore and freshmen, that's directly impacted on you and what you guys did and how you led them this year. So a lot to be proud of for that group.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I think this is a senior class that produced a lot on the ice, 92 points, I think, this year for that group, plus obviously so much great goaltending in the back. But what they did off the ice and what they did with that team in the locker room, that's going to speak volumes moving forward.
Absolutely, and so that's something I think they took a lot of pride in and understand that that will be felt for for a long time, and anything that we accomplish is a direct result of them and their character and who they were.
Yeah, well, despite the loss in the semifinals, again, another fantastic season, and you can just tell, again, 7 straight trips to that point in the WCHA postseason. The culture here is so good and is working well, and we expect more of the same certainly in the future, Brian.
Yeah, just need to take that next step and get past some of that and not be satisfied, almost like the Red Wings. You know, getting there isn't good enough. Like, we got to take that next step. So hopefully next year.
Sounds good. Well, congrats again on a great season. Thanks again so much for the time. We appreciate it this year, Brian.
Thanks.
Brian Idalski. When we come back, another Brian joins us in studio. Brian Faison stops by. Stick around. Welcome back. Well, it has literally been another banner-raising type of a season for the University of North Dakota. Here to talk about the success, the recently named Under Armour FCS Athletic Director of the Year, Brian Faison. And Brian, first of all, congratulations on the honor. A cool thing to be nominated like that and recognized by your peers.
Absolutely, it really was. It's very special, and it's a long title too, isn't it?
It's a little tough to get through, but we got there.
I'm not sure there's a free car with it, but we'll see what happens. But no, it's very nice to be to have my peers think that of the job we're doing. But it's really a reflection, I think, for our department as a whole, because we've got great staff and great academic support people and great strength and conditioning and great coaches and student athletes that are doing a great job, and that all comes together. So I'm very blessed to be involved in that here at North Dakota.
Yeah, it certainly came together in this past 12 months or so. It's been really an incredible run for the University of North Dakota. Yeah. And it's not like this is a university that has never tasted success before, but you've won a national championship and 5 conference titles since last April. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we'll go with that. No, it is, but it's a testament to our coaches and our student athletes and our staff and the university administration that's been so supportive through everything that we've had to go through over the last so many months. So it's an incredible support base for us, and I think we've shown that we've definitely made the transition to Division I.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, so that's to be an understatement, certainly in that. I think one thing that people forget to realize too is the fact this is really just still in the infancy of your transition from a Division II school to being a Division I school. We're 10 years still within that time frame. Did you think when you thought this transition playing out, could you possibly expect this type of success this soon?
Well, I think you hope that you're going to have this kind of success, but the reality is it doesn't happen. Obviously, it's never happened before. We're in the Sun Belt Conference where teams won all 4 of the primary championships. But I think I knew when I took the job that the potential was here. They'd had such great success at Division II level, and quite frankly, we're operating in a lot of ways like a Division I program competitively. So you knew if you could just nudge some things, and you got the support that you needed from the community, and you could continue to make things better for the coaches and from a resource standpoint, and obviously the scholarship situation, we've been able to step up. All that mattered, and everybody's done a great job moving it forward.
Yeah. Has there been one particular ingredient that has led to this type of success? What would you sort of pinpoint as maybe being the most important factor to seeing what we've seen in the past 12 months?
I think our coaches. I think their ability to recruit exceptional young men and women. I think our coaches and how they handle and manage their program, and it's not easy. I mean, we don't have the biggest budgets in certain sports, but they're able to get things done and make them competitive. I think I would say our coaches and their assistant coaches would be the primary element there.
Yeah, certainly a good crew that have been assembled here at Grand Forks. One of the neat things too about this athletic success is that it's come not just on the court or the field or the ice, but it's come in the classroom and come in the community as well. Some really outstanding numbers for your student athletes.
Yeah, when 75% of your student athletes have a 3.0 or better for the fall semester, and for the year it'll probably be the same. That says a lot about the head coaches and their commitment and our student athletes' commitment and the great job that our academic support staff does in supporting those athletes with the travel and the practice and the competition schedules that they have to face. But it is amazing the job they do. And we got a couple of academic All-Americans in there and NCAA postgraduate scholarships. I think we've got more NCAA postgraduate scholarships than some schools have in our level, and it's not even close. And that says a lot about what's important. And we really, I shouldn't be surprised every year, but I'm always surprised that we break the record. Because at some point you figure, well,
can you really
get there, but son of a gun, we don't.
Plus 9,500 hours too of service around the Grand Forks community. Just another little thing that this program has done.
That's very important, I think, for us, particularly in this community, with the support we get to give back. And I think it's important that the student athletes understand the value of service, and hopefully they'll take that on when they move on in the rest of their lives too, wherever they go.
What's interesting too, and the last thing here for you, there's still potential for more. You've got 3 teams still involved with winter sports, postseason runs coming up with men's and women's hoops and men's hockey. We haven't even got to the spring season yet.
Right.
It's exciting to think that we're just tipping the iceberg here.
Yeah, well, our tennis teams are having their best seasons, and track's been off and running too, literally and figuratively. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch the basketball tournament play out, and then it's going to be exciting to see what the hockey team on the men's side can do. They all they need to do, I think, is win 6 more, and we're right back where we were.
That's all it's going to take.
Let's go for that.
Sounds like a plan, Brian. Well, it's going to be a busy month, certainly for you, traversing the country to follow these teams. Congratulations again on the honor and on putting together an incredible run of success.
Thank you.
We are back in just a moment to wrap things up here on this week's UND Sports Extra. Stay tuned.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
March Madness is in full force across the country, and it'll make its way to Grand Forks via Reno starting this Wednesday as Travis Brewster and the UND women will take on 7-seed Portland State in the Big Sky Tournament quarterfinals. That game starts at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. A win would put them in their 3rd semifinal in the last 4 years, but the head coach knows it'll take a special effort to get by a team that beat UND just 5 days ago.
For us, playing them, turn around, playing them again, our mindset is, hey, we have to play better. Their mindset, obviously, is, hey, we just beat that team. We can do it again. And so it's going to come down to an effort thing for us, and we're going to have to outwork them on both ends of the floor. Being in the tournament, there's a difference to the feel of the game. I feel like our players are really starting to get that sense of, hey, it's time to step it up to another level.
The UND men will take on the winner of Portland State and Northern Arizona on Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. The men's semis are Friday evening with the title game coming up Saturday, and Gino Crandall and company expect to be involved until the tournament's end.
We know we got to string together, 3 good games in 3 days. We're first place for a reason. We got to take confidence in that, go out confident, aggressive, and if we play our basketball, we know we got a good chance.
Closer to home, March Madness is also on the ice as UND men's hockey will take on St. Cloud State in a best-of-3 NCHC quarterfinal series at the Ralph beginning this Friday night. We will have each game in the series live right here on Midco Sports Network. That is our time for this week, but we'll have all the highlights from Reno and around the rest of North Dakota athletics next Tuesday night here on UND Sports Extra. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching.